Hello YouTube world, welcome back to my workshop. Project I'm going to do for you today is the third and final one in the actual edge bowls. What I've got for you is another lump of oak. So when I first cut this, it was laid down that way, and I thought that'd be ideal just to do a project, just show you what I need to do with the bowl. And then when I cut it and picked it up, it was like that on the bottom, which as you can see is a bit of a mess. Big damage down through there, quite old damage. So I thought I'd leave it, be a nice challenge. So what I'm going to do is, that'll be the bottom of the bowl. I'm going to cut all that away, smooth that down flat. Obviously cut would be smaller than that because I need the shape of the bowl to flare up. And then on this side, I did originally think about just turning the bowl in this piece here. If I did that, all I'd do is I'd end up with something like that again, which would be pretty pointless. So what I'm going to do is turn the bowl at the whole lot of that right the way around there. And what is going to be interesting is, because it's all different heights, as you see, that piece on there is a lot higher than that piece on there. That curves up like that, that's up there, and then that dips away there, and then it flares up on that end. So that on there. So it should be quite an interesting project. It'll be fun to see how it turns out. And hopefully I can keep the bark on all the way around. Obviously if it turns out it's just a mess, I'm just going to delete the film, so nobody's going to be done the boys with. But hopefully it should turn into something interesting. Okay, let's get on and turn some wood. That one was for you, Pete. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make a face plate on this side so that I can mount it in the chuck, and then I'll have the fun task of turning all that mess away. And that's going to be horrendous because I'm going to be turning a lot of air. You see a lot of machine gun going off, and I don't suppose I'll be able to turn the speed of lathe up very much because that'll be shaking about all over the place. So as I say, let's turn that off first, see how we get on. So as you can see from the video, I've mounted the face plate so that I can mount the bark in the chuck. I've also taken it onto the bandsaw and I've cut all the corners off, and I've now started turning it. I have brought the tailstock up with a revolving centre just to hold it, just for safety's sake really. I always use the tailstock whenever I can, because if you should have an accident, the piece slips. It's really jammed in there quite tight, so it's not going anywhere. So it's just a matter now of going through, just gradually taking it down piece at a time, until I get it into some sort of shape of a round piece. You can see from that it's massively out of balance at the moment. I'm gradually taking it down. The biggest problem you have when you start off with that is that you're probably only hitting one or maybe two pieces, and what happens is if you try to take too big a cut, you actually push the chisel into air in between them, so when the other piece comes round it slams down onto the chisel, and there's all sorts, so you have to be very, very careful to keep your cuts to an absolute minimum. The other problem is where it's out of balance, you can't turn the lathe up very high, so it's just a matter of really just patience, just making very small cuts on low speeds until you start to get it into round where it's not so out of balanced, and then you can gradually turn the speed of the lathe up and take bigger cuts. You see from this one I'm just taking push cuts across the bottom. I'm just trying to straighten up the base of the bowl here. You can see from that there's still pieces of you can see the green pieces of bark that are still on there, so that needs to all come down right the way down. Here I'm just taking off the bottom of the edge, so I'm just trying to define the shape of the bowl now. Again, I'm just using a series of push cuts and pull cuts. taking away the base of the bowl. What I will do when I take it down, I get it into a certain level and I need to leave a tenon on the bottom of the bowl so that when I turn the bowl around, I will have something for the chuck to hold on to. So when I turn it around, I can use it to hollow the bowl with. I did find with this, when I started turning the tenon on originally, I got down and there was, you can see that really black piece very close to the tailstock. That's where my finger is now. That was all really rotten in there, really soft, really rotten. So I had to take that away before I could, and cut it down even lower before I could put my tenon on there. Obviously, if I put a tenon on there and put that in the chuck, that wouldn't hold it at all. It would just come flying off. So as you can see there, I've got it into round now, got it into a nice shape. The bark's almost equal. I might have to move that over slightly again. I'm not quite there. I think I will. I'll just move that the centrepiece over again, so I get that right in the middle, so that bark's even. And then, as you see, I can start to define the shape of the bowl then. So let me do that and I'll get back to you again. So what I've done there is I've taken the faceplate and I've had to move it over slightly, because it's important that when you get to the stage of turning, that the bark is equal. So your high points and your low points are exactly the same. And you see where I put the pencil, that they are pretty much in line now. Obviously, if I was cutting too much on one side and not enough on the other, as I took the walls when I started hollowing it, I would be cutting all the bark off one side and leaving a big thick wide band on the other, which is not what you want. So it is important to make sure it's quite central. And that at the moment looks pretty good. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking this down. I'm going to define the shape of the bowl and flatten the bottom off, leave a small rim on the bottom for the bowl to sit on, and then put tenon on the bottom so that it's ready for me to turn around and hollow. You will see very shortly the piece where I was looking at just now, where the black line through it looked like a crack. That does come flying off in a minute, and it leaves some really soft, sort of punky wood underneath, which meant I had to take the bowl down further. Although I don't think it detracted from the actual shape of the bowl at all. So now I'm just gradually going through, working my way down through. And just defining that shape of that palm. Got some flat spots on there. And on there, so I need to take them off. I'll sharpen my chisel, I'll turn the speed up a little bit. That's what we want for a good finish. Sharp tools, high speed. Up to just over 700 now. Still there. Let's finish on that one. You can tell that's cut well. Nice curly chips. That's what you want to see. There on that one. Still needs a little bit more on that one. That's it. Sand that up. Bit of original there, I'll take that off and then sand that up. That's good. It's a nice shape. I'll be able to mirror that inside quite easily when I hollow that out, so a uniform thickness. So I'll sand that down and we'll get back to you. That's one of the things I would say to anybody who does wood turning when they turn oak. Make sure they clean their lathe bed and everything off, because that, I don't know what it is, a tannin in there. It stains and it will rust. It will rust out as soon as you look at it. I don't know, I've said this before, but the harder the wood, the harder it is to cut, the harder it is to sand. But it is so worthwhile. That is such an unbelievable soft finish on that. Right, let's get some sand and sealer on there and some polish. It's showing everything. What you do when you sand wood is, although you take all the sort of rough spots out and you take it down, sandpaper effectively scratches wood, and all you do is you make the scratches smaller and smaller until you can't see them. But the other thing it does is what they call is, if you imagine wood as a mass of straws, which is effectively what all the fibres of the tree are. What you do when you cut across the top, when you sand it, you just push all of those, what they call the nibs of all the ends, you just push them all over. As soon as you put any fluid on there, like sanding sealer, as soon as you put that on, they all pop up again. So what you need to do is just go back over, sand it all, push them back down again, and then when you put your sanding sealer back over the top, that'll hold them all in place. So whenever you put anything like that on, you really do need to do it twice, and you do get an incredibly soft finish on there. You find if you do it at home, do it, put sanding sealer, rub it all down, feel how smooth that is, put sanding sealer on it, and then rub your hand over it again, and it's never so smooth the second time. But if you sand it off again and then put sanding sealer on, you're back to your original, how soft it was. Obligatory Hampshire sheen. Good product. Made by a wood turner for a wood turner. Lovely. So when I polish this up, I might even be able to polish up to that line there. So obviously I don't want to be polishing up here because my finger goes in there. That's going to try its best to take it off. Well, my brother did suggest, that's what I did to boost viewing figures. I thought it was a poor idea. A bit of towel. Put shine on that. That's gorgeous. A grain in there. Beautiful. You turn that around now. Need to buff that up. Okay, that's my Jacob's truck, that's my buffing wheel. And just buff up those top pieces I couldn't do with the lathe. Turning, fear of having my fingers bit. That shine on that. That's fortuitous. It's 5 to 1, which is my lunchtime. Granny's cooked me leek and potato soup. Homemade leek and potato soup I got today. I'll get back to you after lunch. So as you can see, I've taken the face plate off, I've turned it around, mounted it on that tenon and the chuck, so it's already now for hollowing out. So I've also sharpened my chisels More importantly, I've had me leaking potato soup, so I'm raring to go now. Not the best view up there for you. I'll move the camera around so you can get a better view of me following that. So that should give you quite a good view of what's going on. You can suddenly see the middle of that change in colour in there, where I've gone through the white outer wood, getting into the dark heartwood. It's like I said before, once you get into that dark wood, that's so incredibly hard. You can see on there already, we're getting a nice shape on that. And it's a nice even shape around on that bark. I'll take those walls down a little bit thinner. Actually, it's thinner on the ends there. I'm not going to be able to take too much more off, otherwise I'm going to lose that. Probably about half of that. And I'll start hollowing on there. I think I'll do like I did on the other one with the, because that's so hard in there, I do struggle to cut that. I think what I'm going to do is put a Forstner bit in there and just cut a hole. It'll take me down to my depth. It'll give me a chance. Oh, that was very quick. I don't think I'm going to get that much there. I'm frightened to start losing the bark. It's quite thin there, as you can see. Slightly bigger on that side. And that's maybe a bit more at the bottom. I think that's pretty much it. Just need sanding down, and so I'll get back to the finished product. I have bought myself a Makita angle drill. Just allows me to power sand inside of the bowls a lot easier. Well, here it is, YouTube world, all finished, all completed. Somebody should invest in a little turntable really, shouldn't I? Let's show it off. Lovely shine on that, beautiful markings. There you go, YouTube world, all done. I have to say, that's the three of them, that's certainly the prettiest piece. It really is nice. That's quite an enjoyable project actually. It's amazing how something so beautiful can emerge from such a hideous looking piece of wood. It really is. Very nice. There we go. So that's the third in the trilogy. I've got another small piece left over. I might think of something. I could probably do a small hollow form. There again, I don't think I'm going to make anything quite as nice as that. So that's that. Anyway, if you have enjoyed that, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, don't cost you anything. If you hit the subscribe button with the bell, every time I produce a video, you get automatic notification so that you can watch it. So please subscribe. So that's pretty much it. I'm sure I'll have another project very soon. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Steve Howe, and I've had another great day in the workshop. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.